The new playoff format for Major League Baseball is shaping up to be one of the most interesting September races that we have seen in recent memory, especially for our Seattle Mariners. Trying to lock down a wild card spot for the Mariners is going to be their biggest difficult journey that they have over this next month, and it actually matters which wild card spot they end up in. There are a few different scenarios here for the Mariners and Mariners fans that we need to keep an eye on as we go throughout the month of September, and honestly, it's possible, and I doubt this will happen, but it's possible the Mariners actually want to lose later in September. So here we have the 2020 MLB postseason bracket, and as you can see, 6 teams from either league make the playoffs. The first team in the American League, which is currently the Astros, is going to get a bye, as well as the second team in the American League, which is currently the Yankees, also get a bye. This is probably going to stay relatively the same. There's a decent chance that the Astros and Yankees finish 1-2 in the American League, and for the sake of this video, we're just going to say that's exactly what happens. They get a bye in the first wildcard division and instead move on to the division series here, and we'll play the winners of each wildcard series. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, what about the third division winner at this moment, the Guardians? If they were to win the Central, where do they play? Well, they actually play right over here in the wild card bracket. They actually have to play a wild card series instead of getting to go directly to the division series. So honestly, if you are that number 3 seed division winner, man, that sucks to be you. Whoever wins the American League Central is going to host this bracket right here. And at the moment, it's the Guardians. However, the White Sox and the Twins have a decent chance to make up some ground. As at the time of recording this video, the Guardians are only 2 games up on the Twins and 5 up on the White Sox. So the Twins are really the only ones vying for it there. Of course, the White Sox can make up 5 games if they went on a tear, but I mean, with Tony La Russa at the helm, that's probably not going to happen. So again, for the sake of argument, we're just going to go ahead and put the Guardians right here in the 3 seed. Now that leaves the 4, 5, and 6 spot as the current wild card holders. And at the time of recording this, that is the Rays, the Blue Jays, and the Mariners. The Rays currently have a half-game lead on the Mariners and would be right here in this bracket. They would be AL seed number 4, then the Mariners would be number 5 in the AL seed. Now, for what it's worth, this also means that the Rays would be hosting this entire 3-game series. There would be absolutely no way for the Mariners to come home and play in Seattle with some home field advantage in this scenario. All 3 games would be held in Tampa Bay. Then the winner between the Mariners and Tampa Bay, if the Mariners were to stay in the 5 seed right here, would end up going on to play the Astros. That would mean that the Blue Jays would be up here and they would end up playing the Guardians. The Guardians and the Blue Jays, whoever won that, would go on to play the Yankees, and then whoever won that would go over here, so on and so forth. So there actually is some sort of strategy here as to what AL wildcard spot you want to be in. The 4 seed will host, absolutely. And then the 6 seed will be playing the winner of the Central, in this case right now the Guardians. The 5 seed has to play the 4 seed, and the 5 seed has to go to the city of the 4 seed and stay there for the entirety of the series. So if you're the Mariners, in my opinion, you either want to get the 4 seed or the 6 seed, and I'm honestly kind of leaning towards the 6 seed. With the 4 seed, you would be hosting, more than likely, either the Blue Jays or the Rays right here in the 5 seed, and you would have home field advantage, which is great and all. However, if you win that, you then go on to play the Astros, and we all know the Astros have kicked the crap out of the Mariners this year. However, in the 6th seed, you would get to play the Guardians, who the Mariners over the last series just took 3 out of 4 from, and then you go on to play the Yankees, who the Mariners have also handled really well this year. So realistically, the number 6 seed for the Mariners, the 3rd wildcard spot, honestly looks like the very best place for them to be right now. At the time of recording, they occupy the 2nd wildcard spot, just 1 game above Toronto, and 2.5 games up on Baltimore. Now, there are a couple different things that could change the way this seeding works, and let's talk about that now. Obviously, the more wins you have, the higher seed you get. So if you have more wins than the other 2 wildcard teams, you're going to end up in wildcard spot number 4. However, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the Mariners are in AL number 4, and then the Blue Jays are also in AL number 4, and they're tied. They end the year with exactly identical records. Well, the tiebreaker in Major League Baseball this year is going to be head-to-head record. So in this scenario, if the Mariners were to be tied with the Blue Jays, the team that would take the number 4 seed in the first wildcard spot in the AL would be the team that had the highest record against the other team in the season series. That would mean that a tie between the Mariners and Blue Jays would go to the Mariners because they have taken the season series against the Blue Jays. However, if it was the Mariners and the Rays that had a tie, the Rays would get the higher seed because the Rays took the season series from the Mariners. Now, if the Orioles do find a way to make their way in and somehow tie the Mariners, then the Mariners would also take that higher seed because they took the season series with the Orioles. And if the Twins go in and take the top spot away from the Guardians, the Mariners would probably take that as well. Of course, this season series isn't over yet, but the Mariners took 3 of 4 against the Guardians, and they have another series against them coming up soon, if not has already happened by the time this video is released. In fact, the only 2 teams that are really left in the wild card race that the Mariners would have to worry about tying with are the Guardians and the White Sox. Now, the White Sox are 6 games back of the Mariners at this point, so let's just say just the Guardians for the sake of time. Let's say somehow in the next series, the Mariners and the Guardians end up being tied in the season series. Well, if that was the case, then the Mariners and the Guardians at the end of the year, when they hit the wild card, would then have to go on to option number 2, which is interdivision record. So basically that would be, what is the team's record against their division opponent? So for the Mariners, what is their overall record against the Astros, Athletics, Rangers, and Angels? Then of course for the Guardians, it would be their record against the White Sox, the Twins, the Tigers, and the Royals. Now that is a lot of math that I don't feel like calculating right now, so let's just hope that doesn't happen. So while I would absolutely love to have the Mariners host a series in Seattle against a team, they'd have to take the AL 4 seed, the first wild card spot, and then they would host either, at the moment, the Blue Jays or the Rays or the Orioles. And then if they were to win that series, they go on to play the Astros, who once again have been incredible this year, and you know, the Mariners aren't very good against them. If we're talking about the Mariners getting deep into the playoffs, I honestly would much rather them have the 6th seed. They wouldn't be able to play at home until the division series, but they would be going against the Guardians, who they've played pretty well against so far, and then they'd be playing the Yankees in the division series, who they also have handled pretty well. And let's just say, for fun, they were the number 6 seed. And then the Mariners went on to beat the Guardians, and they went on to beat the Yankees and made it to the championship series. If the Mariners were in the championship series, then the winner of a game between the Astros and either the Rays or Blue Jays or Orioles would then go on to take on the Mariners to advance to the World Series. So as we go into the month of September, the final month of the MLB season, we're really going to need to keep an eye on all these division records and kind of the AL wildcard situation as a whole. In my opinion, I want the Mariners to take the 6th seed, but who knows what's going to happen. And you better believe if they take the 4 seed, I'm going to be in Seattle at that game, watching whoever they're going to play, for better or for worse. And the Mariners actually have a secret weapon on their side that they're using against teams right now, and I think this is one of their biggest advantages in the wildcard race. I have a video on the screen for you right now. Also, which spot do you want the Mariners to be in terms of the wild card? You want them to be 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in the wild card? I appreciate you guys checking out this video, and go Mariners!